What's up, everybody? You know who this is. This is AJ Copeland, and this is Topics to Go. I'm sure you all are familiar with Topics to Go, and you know how it works. Um, Hello, beautiful Friday. All right, the sun is shining bright. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. I'm having an okay morning. No, I'm having a wonderful morning to be exact, because I'm living, I'm breathing. All right. I'm looking around my surroundings. Actually, I am outside, sitting in my car, enjoying the beautiful weather. It stormed on yesterday, but it's beautiful today. And I thought maybe in fact, I had a couple of errands to run this morning, but I decided to just park the car and do the video on the outside for once, because I'm always doing the video in the house. And I thought maybe I'd do this video on the outside. Now, let me cover a couple of things. There are a lot of subjects and topics that are going on about HIV, and that's what this subject is going to be about. Is where did HIV originated from? Where did it come from? And so I'm going to address, a lot of people ideas and thoughts and feelings about it and where they feel like it came from. You got a lot of suspicions and, theories and ideals and thoughts about, where this virus come from, why it's here. And so I'm going to just talk about those things. Now, as you all already know, I always come from my opinions and my thoughts and how I feel about things. Nothing is concrete. I do some research, but I don't do intense research because that would take a lot of time. And then sometimes when you do a lot of that, it makes the video somewhat boring. Because then everything is based upon all these statistics and numbers. And I'm not saying that none of that is important, because all of that is important. But I give you the opportunity to research for yourself. I just give you food for thought, something to think about. And after you think about it, you take the time to do all the research and find out if what I'm saying is true. And then hit me up, send me a message. And please subscribe. Now, as you already know, I'm not on here to build numbers and to make money. I mean, if those situations happen for me and I'm blessed and the numbers and I go viral or whatever the case might be, that's good, it's cool, I'm down with that. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, because I'm doing what I love to do. And I like motivating others, because motivating others motivate me. And that's really what it's about. So let's get into this topic for today. All right. Now, first, I want to talk about the dark days of HIV. I was around. I was very young, but I was around during that time of the dark days of HIV. And I remember, I believe President Reagan was the president at that time. And he didn't really take note on that. When the virus really hit hard in San Francisco, because that's where it hit the hardest in the beginning, there were a lot of marches, around the time of 1972, 1974. And the reason why there were a lot of protests and marches, because the funding was not there. And so a lot of people just used as guinea pigs to try to figure out, various types of medicines to cure folks. People were dying and dropping like flies. I can remember watching a segment on, I think it was ABC or CBS or one of the major networks, that actually got into the conversation about HIV during the dark days. And I remember them having this quilt, and this quilt had all the names of individuals that had died and passed of HIV. And during that year, it was like between 100 to 200,000 people that had lost their lives because of HIV and AIDS. And primarily it was due because there was not any scientific, there was no money available for cure. Like I told you, there were a lot of, they were just using experimental drugs, and which was toxic themselves, and a lot of people were taking those medicines, were dying. People were living anywhere from a day to 6 months, and they were no longer here. It was really a terrible time, and you had a lot of people dying, such as, you know, movie stars, dancers, Hollywood, those at Hollywood, those in New York, and just various places that were just dropping. They were just dropping like flies, and no one really knew what was happening. And the question was, where did it come from? Now, I'm going to cover a couple of the myths that's out there as it relates to where HIV originated from, and I'm going to tell you the stories that I heard back in those days. One story that I was told, or one story I remember hearing, which was crazy, was that there was this Caucasian guy that had went to Africa, and he engaged in, well, I'm going to give you two stories. One, I'm just going to tell you how the story went. One, he engaged in sexual activity with a chimpanzee, with a monkey. All right? Bestiality. All right? That was one story, that this Caucasian guy engaged in sexual activity, bestiality activity with a Caucasian, with an animal, and he contracted the virus, and he brought it back to the States. And he was the first one to get sick of it, and he brought it back to the States. And lo and behold, when he came back to the States, he did not know what he had, and he had sexual intercourse with individuals in San Francisco, and it spread it from there. That's one story. Another story that I remember hearing is the story of Africa. In both of these stories, it seems that the virus originated in Africa. How ironic. But those are the two stories. The next story is that the virus was widespread in Africa, and there were some Africans that came over to the States and spread the virus, when they got here, and a number of people contracted the virus because of that. The main story, or the story that I hear the most, is the government. The story that the virus originated from the government, and that it was all about population control, and that people, the government purposely sent the virus to kill off a certain group of people, primarily gays and homosexuals, the LGBTQ community, because the community did not uphold the values, the traditional values, and so those that the religious sect within the government took it upon themselves to get that under control, and decided to release this virus among the gay community because of the sins and the abominations in which gay men, gay women commit, and they was trying to put a stop to that. So that was another myth, a story. Has any of this been proven? Not to my knowledge that any of these stories have been proven. I guess you can create, anytime you create a story, you can create any type of follow-up to make it seem that it's real and true, but my understanding, none of this stuff has been proven. Also, let me add, a lot of people believe the reason why HIV is here. Now, of course, I'm going to cover the religious sect when it comes to that, because they are the ones that are more vocal when it comes to why it's here. And many of them believe that the HIV, virus, AIDS virus, is here because of homosexuality, and God has placed a curse upon this group of individuals, of this community, and that's His way of purging the world of this type of activity that is going on within society, and that is so abominative, it's such an abomination and so sinful that God hates it, and that God allowed HIV and AIDS to come upon the land and to destroy those that commit such acts. Now I'm going to get into my opinion about all of that. My opinion is HIV is just a part of everything else that is upon this earth. I think that overall, because of the poisons that men have released upon this earth, and the selfish attitude that man has when it comes to appreciating the beautiful land and the trees and the air that we breathe and the sky. And I think it has a lot to do with the non-appreciation of what we have has released various toxics and diseases and viruses out into the air, out into the atmosphere. And I do believe that that there are various things that we eat. I think that mosquito bites and interaction with various animals, and I'm not talking about sexual bestiality type of stuff, just interacting with various animals. I think that drinking water, certain types of water, and Flint, Michigan is a perfect example of that. I think the intake of substance abuse, all of this has had an impact on our immune system. And I think that overall, your average American today, whether they have HIV and AIDS or not, have a weak immune system because it's under attack by so much, you know. And being that your immune system is already under attack by everything else that's out here, I think for some of us, you know, there is a there is a virus, there is certain diseases and different things out here, just like someone can contract cancer, diabetes, and all the other things that I hear. They can contract HIV. I think the reason why the stigma is looked so down upon when it comes to HIV and AIDS because of not the sexual activity and who individuals are having sex with. I think that has more to do with the reason why people look at it the way they look at it, because of who individuals are having sex with. I think that's what all that come along, you know, abomination is not right, you know, God is cursing, all of that. Because when you really think about it, you know, HIV is not, you know, at one time it was considered as a gay homosexual disease. That's not what it's considered as today. Male and females are getting it, straight and gay is getting HIV and AIDS. So, you know, you can get it through drug use, needles, you know, you can get it through oral sex, you know, that involves sores in the mouth and blood and semen and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you can get it from many different ways, but of course, it's always going to be reflect back to homosexuality and you know, and gay. So, but so that's my take on it. If you have an opinion or a thought or a feeling on what I said, you know, send me a message. I mean, respond to this video and subscribe to my channel, and we'll have more topics in the future. So during your free time, always remember, catch a topic or two. Later.